This doesn't mean at all that one should not be connected with communities. After all, humans are social beings. Only by being connected to society can they remain content. Following the customs and traditions of a community also nurtures one's mental satisfaction. Communities give humans a purpose to stay engaged in life. They bind individuals to some tradition, providing them with a purpose to act. Otherwise, if life is just spent satisfying one's own hunger and thirst, sooner or later, a person will start feeling a sense of futility. They will feel that there's nothing left to do in life. For example, if you have a lot of money and feel that there's no need to work anymore, initially, you will be happy. But as time goes on, you won't know what to do with that money. You'll start feeling as disheartened with having too much money as you would have felt with not having enough. This is because the purpose of work is now gone, but life still remains. So, what should be done now? As a result, either a person starts spending that money fulfilling their desires, indulging in pleasures like intoxication, sexual activities, and worldly enjoyments. To keep one from falling into these, society pushes them towards a different kind of addiction, such as devotion or religious activities. By religious activities, I mean those things that society has labeled as religion. The person then starts feeling that they have acquired all worldly things, so why not now become a bit spiritual? And then they start running to temples, mosques, churches. They had to spend that money somewhere. In one way, it's better that instead of harming their health with intoxication, they are spending money by donating to priests. This might not be a truly religious act, but it is done for their own satisfaction. However, is it really spirituality to spend an entire life following the wrong definition of religion for the sake of one's satisfaction? And with the money being given to the religious site administrators in the name of spirituality, are true religious activities really happening with it? Because I have already defined what true religion is. Now, the worldly pleasures that the individual was indulging in earlier are being enjoyed by the priests in the temples. The money is still being spent in the same place as before, only the user has changed. But it doesn't end here. If it were just limited to this, it would still be manageable. The problem is much bigger than that. To understand it better, let's look at a more practical example connected to today's society. Today's society is a technological one, a developing society. Every day, some new invention is born from the treasury of science that changes the world, human life, and the environment. Even the ancient texts of any society contain many scientific perspectives. For example, fasting for the worship of God is actually beneficial for the health of the body, or when an animal is killed for food, cutting its vein instead of killing it instantly so that all the blood drains out, making the meat germ-free and more suitable for preservation. These are customs performed in the name of religion, but are actually rooted in scientific reasoning. However, it has been several thousand years since these texts were written. At that time, humans wrote these scriptures based on the society they observed around them. The problem arises when we try to apply the customs or practices from that society to today's society. Much has changed according to the present world. For instance, many health practices recommended in Ayurveda are no longer suitable for today's environment or lifestyle. The life humans live today is vastly different from ancient times. Back then, human lifestyles, environmental purity, food quality, and life resources were all very different from what they are today. Therefore, applying the rules of that era to this one is nothing short of foolishness. The same applies to religious texts. If the rituals from that era are performed today, they need to be modified. Otherwise, people will reject them, and the community cannot tolerate their rules being rejected. If someone rejects the rules today, there's a possibility they may also reject the society itself in the future. To prevent this, the community offers a way for people to compensate for not following a particular practice with money. This ensures that religious observance is maintained and the community benefits financially, which is nothing but corruption. In today's world, every day we see a new upgrade in technology, be it home appliances, architecture, hardware, or software. Imagine that in just a decade, how many versions of Microsoft Windows, Android, or iOS are upgraded? In today's world, even within a year, a technology is upgraded several times. And it is human mentality that he wants to be updated with the time, so he tends to upgrade himself to the latest technology. Something similar is happening in the case of communities, which are self-acclaimed to be religions. Now, the current and upcoming generations are not just unfollowing the rituals of these communities, but also questioning their validity and challenging them. We are on the verge of a big revolution, and this is rule of nature that whenever a dictatorship crosses its limit, people revolt against it. And here, since several thousand years, these communities have been forcing their dogmas on the people and gaining social power at the cost of people's superstitions and misbeliefs. However, the present generation has already ignited this spark of revolt against these communities, and by the time the upcoming generation arrives, it will turn into a revolution. This is the reason why all of a sudden atheists start to increase in every part of the world, except for some nations where these communities are so much powerful to suppress the public that even a massacre in name of religion is considered valid.